you like to be a ruler of a great nation, but only be remembered for the 6 wives you've had and the scandals that followed. That is exactly what King Henry VIII dealt with the majority of his life. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3 main points: the background of King Henry's life, the struggle to keep a wife, and the future of his kingdom. Ever since I was a little girl, I have found a keen interest in the history of the British monarchy and studied it throughout school, finding a special interest in the fascinating life of King Henry VIII. Now that I have established what I will be talking about for the next couple of minutes, I would like to start with King Henry VIII's background. According to the article titled King Henry VIII of England, provided by the website Luminarium Anthology of English Literature, King Henry VIII was born into a family on June 28, 1491, to King Henry VII and Elizabeth of York. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters who all died, leaving him the throne. While preparing to be a king, Henry was tutored and said to be an accomplished scholar, athlete, musician, and linguist. By doing this, he was ready to become England's next great king. Now that I have shared a little background about King Henry VIII, let's talk about the struggle it was to keep a wife. Through the course of his lifetime, King Henry had 6 wives. His first wife was Catherine of Aragon. He did not love her and was forced to marry her to keep the peace treaty between both of their countries. She was also previously married to his older brother. In an article titled Henry VIII of England, last updated February 19, 2012, Lord Eakins explained that Catherine of Aragon gave birth to a son named after Henry, but soon died 2 months later, leaving them destined to have unhappy births and only having one daughter. During a marriage to Catherine of Aragon, King Henry took in a mistress, who happened to be a lady-in-waiting to the Queen. Alison Ware states in her book, The 6 Wives of Henry VIII, published in 1992, that Henry and Anne Boleyn began with passion and ended in a bloody death. Anne Boleyn was the only wife King Henry VIII actually loved. King Henry VIII planned on divorcing Catherine of Aragon, but had a huge struggle to get there. He married Anne Boleyn, but she couldn't bear a son and only had one child named Elizabeth. King Henry began cheating on Anne and started to look elsewhere. He cheated on Anne with a woman named Jane Seymour. During his cheating scandal, King Henry VIII was informed that Anne was cheating on him with her brother, so he ordered her to be beheaded. After the beheading of Anne Boleyn, he took Jane Seymour in as a wife. He fell head over heels for her, and they were both faithful to each other. She was the only wife that bore him a son, but she died during childbirth. After the death of Jane, King Henry was forced to marry a woman named Anne of Cleves. He thought of her to be an ugly horse and wanted out of the marriage as soon as he got into it. He divorced her and married a 17-year-old girl named Catherine Howard. Catherine Howard was King Henry VIII's 5th wife. She was known for being very flirtatious and bringing scandal to the kingdom. She didn't like how old King Henry VIII was, so she began cheating on him with one of his servants. King Henry got wind of this and ordered them both to be beheaded. After her beheading, he married his 6th and final wife, named Catherine Parr. She was known for being very smart and taking over the kingdom whenever Henry was away at battle. She was the only queen to survive him, and she also outlived him. Next, let's look at how marrying so many women affected the future of his kingdom. Through all 6 marriages, only 3 heirs were provided. The first one was Queen Mary, daughter of Catherine of Aragon, Queen Elizabeth, daughter of Anne Boleyn, and then Edward IV, son of Jane Seymour. Edward IV took over the throne after King Henry's death, but he died in his teenage years. After that, Mary I ruled, and she was known for being Bloody Mary for killing many Protestants. Then after her death, Queen Elizabeth I, also known as the Virgin Queen, took the throne, being the greatest and longest ruler. This ended the Tudor history and the kingdom of King Henry VIII. You might be thinking King Henry VIII's life was only consisted of scandal and drama, but in reality he loved and adored his kingdom. In summary, today I talked about the background of King Henry, the struggle it was to keep a wife, and the future of his kingdom. King Henry once said, of all losses, time is the most irrecuperable, for it can never be redeemed. King Henry definitely meant this because he spent most of his time facing drama, and he never got the chance to actually have a life. Thank you.